Hello everyone, this video tutorial is for the SpaceScape project, and since there's a lot of moving parts for this project, I wanted to have you first start with making your stars and your nebula first, and then jumping into this tutorial to make your planets, okay? So I have us looking at Google Classroom right now. This is under the SpaceScape project, and you can see that I gave you a ton of images, and I gave you some videos also, and the instructions. So I first want you to start your project with the Photoshop tutorial, this one here. He's going to show you how to make the star field, and he's also going to show you how to make the nebula. So I want you to make your star field and nebula watching this video tutorial, and then also in here are my instructions. And my instructions are step-by-step instructions from this video because it's a little complicated, and I thought you would need to have the written instructions as well. So after you finish your nebula, then you're going to jump into this video here, and then I'm going to show you how to make the planets, okay? I also gave you this video tutorial because I've used this one in the past, and it talks about how to do that cracked, the celestial sphere. And also, I love watching his videos, and he always has some really good tips. So if you want to watch that video as well to help enhance your project, that's amazing. That would be great. And then this video here, this is the one that we watch to create 3D planets. So this one shows you how to make 3D planets, but you guys already know how to make 3D objects. So anyway, these are here for you to look at. And then I also gave this website here for you because this is where I got most of the textures for our planets, and I thought it's a great place for you to check out as well. And then you'll see up here I gave you all the photo images, so I'll be coming back to this place when I start making the planets, okay? So basically I'm going to just minimize this now and get my Photoshop project opened up. This is where you should be right now with me. You have your star field made and you have your nebula made. Okay, so I'm going to go on to my instruction sheet and look at my celestial sphere directions, and I'm just going to go from there. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is, number one, make a new layer. And on that new layer, you're going to put a picture on that new layer. So it tells you in the instructions to go back to Google Classroom. Okay, and for the first planet that you're going to make, you're going to either pick the celestial sphere, Jupiter, Mars, or Venus. So any of these four images would be amazing. So I'm just going to do the Jupiter image. So I'm just going to click on that one. When you click on the image, you see that there's 3 dots over here. Go to the 3 dots, click on that, and then open a new window. Okay, now you're going to see the download sign, so click on download. Okay, and it's going to download into your downloads. Okay, so now you need to go find your picture. So go to Finder, go find your downloads. Okay, and hopefully it shows up. Okay, so here's my downloads. I'm on a brand new layer. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take that and just drag it right onto my layer. Okay, now you have to make it fill your entire paper. So I'm just going to, it's already in the transform mode. So I'm just going to hold my shift key down and just sort of go up like that and have it fill my paper. After you have it fill your paper, you can either hit enter or the check mark to commit to the transform. Okay, so now we're going to make this into a 3D planet. So you know how to do this already. You're going to go up to 3D, come down to new mesh from layer, go to mesh preset, and then go to sphere. And then you know to click no. Okay, so right now I have my planet made, and my lighting is already exposed because I think I was using it last time. So I'll just go over here, double click on my lighting in case you don't have yours exposed. And remember, we get to this light source by going to the infinite light, double clicking on that little light icon. First thing you need to do is uncheck your shadow because it's floating in space, so it shouldn't have a shadow. The only way we would see the shadow is if it was like, if we could see the ground. But so uncheck your shadow. And then I want you to move your, well, first off, before I do this, I probably should have told you to go ahead and, let me go ahead and undo. So go ahead and move your planet how you want your planet to look. So if you want to rotate it or move it, get it in place before you do all that, okay? Then come back and now do your light. Okay, so I can literally move my light all different directions, but whatever you do with this planet is sort of going to be how you're going to light most of the rest of your planets. So you want to figure out, where do you want your light source to come from? Do you want it to come from the left-hand side, right-hand side, bottom? So figure out where you want your light source. And you can see that I can even rotate this little area in here as well. So I'm just going to, okay, and I also wanted to show you, if I do something like this, it has sort of like this gray area here. If I move it like that, then it's sort of more like just the shadow over here, which also looks good. So I guess it really depends. I guess we probably want to either have it like that or like this. I guess we don't want it like that because that would look like, that would look sort of strange. So I think maybe something more like that or like this would be good. Okay, and then once you have that figured out, and then also you can change the intensity of your light source, how much light you get on that as well. Okay, and then you're going to then go back. So once you have that in place, go back to your layers. Okay, and then you're going to right click and you're going to rasterize your layer there. So now you can see I have my shadow on this right side of my planet, but I want to put a little bit more than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my thumbnail and command at the same time. I'm going to grab my soft round brush. Okay, so I have a soft round brush. I have black as my foreground. Hit enter. I have my opacity down. I would say anywhere like maybe 30%. Something like that. And I'm just going to actually just sort of put a little bit more shadow on that as well. And I'm going to also bring this way, way, way down. And I'm just going to sort of just do that. Okay, and then do that, and then do Command D. I feel like it needs to have a little bit more of a darker edge on the other side, or on the shaded side actually, and I think it gives a little bit more realistic look to the space. Okay, so that's how you do that, and then take your move tool and move it because we're going to make a lot more planets, so we want to get that out of the way. Okay. So that was actually, I forgot. We need to actually do an outer glow and inner glow. So keep it in the middle. Okay, now we need to right click and we need to go to blending options and click on outer glow. And then once you click on outer glow, you're going to get into this little window here. In my directions, it said to actually click on the color box. And you're going to type in the color code D7CAB, and then the number 8. Okay, and then before you hit OK, take your mouse and then select that, and then right click and copy it. Okay, and now we can say OK. I told you to make sure that you have, let me go to my other paper, that make sure that you have this on screen, that you want your opacity around 35%, you want your size around 60 to 70%, okay, and that's all for your outer glow. Okay, then hit actually before we hit OK, let's go ahead and do our inner glow as well. So go click on inner glow, and click on Inner Glow as well so you can get into this box. Click on the color box here, and you're going to right click and paste the color code, and it should give you the exact same color as you had before. If you feel that you want to change that color for your Inner Glow, and let's say you want it a little bit different color, you can change that as well. Okay, then hit OK. For your Inner Glow, you want the blend mode to say lighten. So click on lighten. Okay, lighten right there. You want your opacity around 40%. You want your size around 60 to 70%. And let's see, right now my Inner Glow is set to edge. Let me see what center looks like. Center doesn't look so good, so I'm going to keep it on edge. Okay. Okay, and there we go. Hit OK. Okay, so now our first planet is done. Now I can move it out of the way. Okay. So move it over there. Okay, now we're going to move on to the Earth tutorial. So on your set of instructions, the next set is Earth. Okay, so click on number 1. The first set of instructions says make a new layer, and then it tells you to go to Google Classroom. So go to Google Classroom and find the, okay, so I gave you 2 Earth pictures. So I gave you this picture here, which is amazing, and then this picture here, which is amazing. So this is the first time I've given this Earth picture, so I'm going to click on that one. I have used this one in the past and absolutely love it. I think the photo is amazing, and Earth always looks really good with this photo. But since this is the first time I'm using this one, I'll go ahead and grab that one. Okay, so you're going to click on the 3 dots, go to open a new window, click on download. Okay, and then you're going to go to your downloads. Actually, get Photoshop opened up first, and then go find your downloads. Okay, in your download, hopefully it shows up. Let's see, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, then go drag it onto your layer. Okay, and I don't want to have a lot of this white showing, so what I'm going to do, since it's already in the transform tool, I'm just going to pull this up a little bit and have a little bit less white showing. And same thing down here, I'm going to pull it a little bit so it looks like that. And then hit enter or the check mark. Okay, we're going to go up to 3D, and we're going to go to new mesh from layer. We're going to go to mesh preset and sphere. Click no. Okay, and like we did before, you're going to click and find how you want your Earth to look before we do any lighting. So you can move it all the way around. How much of it do you want it to show? I think maybe I'll do something. So maybe I'll do that one like that. Okay, and now I'm going to start putting the lighting on it. So I'm going to come here to my infinite light, double click on my light there, and I'm going to uncheck my shadow. And I'm going to put the light source just like I did this planet here. So I'm going to move it so that it looks like that. Okay, and once I'm happy with that, I'm going to come to my layers, right click and rasterize. Okay, and you can see that the shadow isn't so strong on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to command thumbnail. I'm going to take my brush. My brush is all the way down to 12%, so I'm going to bring it up some. And I'm just going to put a little bit more of a shadow on it, bring this way down, and sort of just do a little bit more up there. Okay, and there's my shadow. Okay, Command D. Okay, now I'm going to put my outer and my inner glow on it. So I'm going to right click, go to blending options. Okay, and then in my instructions, I gave you the numbers for, let's see, did I give you? Oh, maybe I didn't give you any numbers for the Earth. Okay, so I'm going to pick a blue color because usually blue is what we want for Earth. So I'm going to, let's see, I want to make sure I can see what I'm doing. Something like that. Okay, and that's set to screen, and I'm just going to keep everything sort of the way it was for my first planet. So I'm only changing the color, and then I'm going to go to my inner glow, and I am going to, so right now my inner glow is that, which I don't mind. Let me see. I'm going to see if I like the blue in there. Yeah, the blue's not too bad too. So I think I might choose, and you guys can decide which color you like, but I'm just going to keep it in the blue family and say okay, and then hit okay. Okay, so now I have my first planet, and then my Earth has been made. So it's going to move this here because I'm eventually going to move all of these once I figure out how I want to do my composition. Okay, so now the Earth needs a moon. So I'm going to go ahead, do the same thing, click on a new layer, and I'm going to go back to Google Classroom. And I gave you a photo for your moon. So I want you to find the moon picture, go to your three dots, go to open a new window, click on the download. Okay, and then after you do that, you're going to open up, go back to your Photoshop, get your Photoshop open back up, and then go to your download, find your downloads. Okay, here's my moon, put it on my layer. Okay, I'm going to hold my shift key and drag that up, make sure. Okay, and check mark or enter. And then you're going to, up here, 3D, new mesh from layer, mesh preset, and sphere. Okay, you're about to create a 3D layer. Would like to switch to 3D workplace? No. Okay, so now here's my moon, and I quite like that right there. Let's see, I think I might just keep it like that. Okay, now I'm going to go to my lighting and double click on my light and uncheck my shadow, and then put my light source on just like I've done with the other ones. Okay, and bring my intensity up a little bit there. Okay, go to my layers, and let's see, I think I feel like I need to move this a little bit. Okay, and then right click on my layer and go to rasterize. And I definitely need to put more of a shadow on than that. So I'm just going to command thumbnail, grab my soft brush, bring this up a little bit, and just very gently and a little bit of a shadow there. Okay, command D. Okay, so now all three planets have the same type of lighting. The left side is light, the right side is dark. Okay, now I am going to do my inner and outer glow. So I'm going to right click on my layer, go to blending options, go to outer glow. Okay, the outer glow is set for blue because that was the last thing I used was for the Earth, but I think I want my moon to have a whitish yellow color, maybe something like here, maybe even stronger than that. Okay. I don't know, maybe I should even go a little bit. Okay, and then hit OK, and then do my inner glow. And my inner glow, definitely, I want to keep it in more of the white, yellow, white family. Okay, and my moon should look like that. Maybe I should go a little bit more yellow for the inside. I'm not sure. Maybe something like that. Okay, so that's my inner glow. And then hit OK. And now I have my first planet, then I have my Earth, and then I have my moon. Okay, and then we're going to make Saturn and its rings. Okay, so at this point, I think I'm going to move these way down because we need a lot of space. I mean, you can even turn these off if you want to when you make your new planet. So, oh, wait a minute. Okay, oh shoot, let me delete that layer. Okay, I want my new layer on top. Okay, so now we're going to make Saturn. Okay, and here we go. So remember to make a new layer. We're going to go to Google Classroom. And in Google Classroom, I gave you a Saturn image. So click on Saturn, go to the three dots, open a new window. Okay, go to your download. Go find your Saturn picture in your download. Drag it onto your new layer. Make sure you fill your entire canvas. Click Enter or OK. 3D, go down to New Mesh from Layer, go to Mesh Preset, and go to Sphere. Click No. Okay, and now we're going to have our Saturn. Now, the one thing I do want to say to you is that right now, the lighting is sort of set like that, which is sort of how mine is. So I might not even do lighting because it already has it. And I think I'm just going to leave it like that. So now I'm going to just double click, and I think I'm just only going to just turn off my cast shadow. So I think I might just double click, just uncheck this, and let's see. And then I think I'm pretty much done with that. Right click and rasterize. Okay, and once again, I'm going to do Command Thumbnail. I'm going to put a little bit darker shadow on here, grab my soft brush, and just sort of paint a little bit more on my Saturn. And then Command D to turn off my dancing ants. Okay, and so now I have my Saturn. Okay, now we have to do the rings. So this is a little bit more complicated now. So I'm just going to leave it just like this. I'm going to go ahead and make a new layer. I'm going to go back to Google Classroom, and I gave you two sets of rings. The first set, let me just see what this one is. Okay, this one has, I love this image because it has a transparent ring in there, which I really like a lot. Okay, and then the other Saturn ring I gave you, this one is very opaque with these rings here. And I really like that look. But instead of it being like the other one, you can see the space through it, but this one has a white ring. So either one is going to be amazing. Both of them are going to look fantastic. Okay. So I think I'll just go ahead and grab this one since I already have it opened up. I'm going to go to my dots here, go to open a new window. Okay, go to download. Okay, and then I'm going to come here into my downloads, and here's my rings. Take that, drag it on. Okay, and already I sort of have it decent size already. Might not do much more than that. So I'm just going to already I told you in the instructions to scale it and rotate it, but I think I'm good at this point right now. I might just make it a tad bit bigger, maybe just a little bit bigger, and then hit enter or the check mark. Okay, and then make sure that you go to the Saturn and rings tutorial instructions on your instruction sheets because this is a little complicated. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and we want to go up to edit and we want to come down to transform. And we are going to go to, first I'm going to go to perspective. Okay, and I like to drag these out and do something like that. Now, in order for you to do that, you have to really make your picture smaller. So I'm just sort of making it smaller by doing that. Okay, then I'm going to go up and edit, transform, and then I'm going to go to distort and bring it, I'm going to bring my whole picture down like that. Okay, I also told you to go edit, transform, and skew, and you can try skew and see what skew does for you. Okay, and I'm going to do edit, transform, and distort one more time so I can bring this down a little bit like that. Okay, and I think I'm good so far. I'm going to hit enter, check mark. Okay, so now what I want you to do is turn this off and look at your Saturn has rings. So if your rings are going horizontal, you want your Saturn rings to go horizontal. But let's just say that my Saturn is going to be, let me just go Command T. I'm just going to rotate it. Let's say my let's say that my rings are going diagonal. If my rings on my Saturn are going diagonal, then if my planet Saturn, the rings on the actual planet are going diagonal, then I want the rings itself to go diagonal. So I have to do Command T and then move it so that the rings are going the same as the rings on the planet, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just going to undo that right now because I'm going to actually put it straight because it's going to be easier for me to work on it when it's straight. So maybe move your Saturn so that the rings on your planet are horizontal. I might be a little bit easier for you to do that. Okay, so now that my Saturn, the rings on the planet are going horizontal, now I can keep this like that. Okay, so I'm going to move it, and basically what I want to do is just get rid of this background set of rings right here. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to put a mask on this layer. So you need to make sure you have black as your foreground, so hit the D key. Okay, then you're going to come down here and put on a vector mask right down here. Click on that. Okay, we're going to paint in here. But before we paint in here, we're going to come down here to this thumbnail, click Command Thumbnail. Okay, and then you're going to come back up here into your mask. You're going to grab your brush, and we want it to be 100% right now. And we want to make our brush a little bit smaller. And all we're going to do is just paint here. But it looks like we're erasing, doesn't it? It looks like we're erasing. And at this point, you're going to erase like that. Okay, then Command D. Okay, so now the rings are behind my planet. If for some reason I feel like I want to flatten this out a little bit, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go Command T, and I'm going to go edit, transform, and distort. I feel like I need to, I'm not sure about this. Not sure. Yeah, maybe I need to do something more like that. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, so now I might want, I'm gonna actually delete that layer mask. I'm gonna restart. Okay, so now that I have this, I felt like that was a little needed to, you might have to adjust, just like what I'm doing. I'm adjusting. Once I got started, I realized it needed a little bit adjusting. So now I'm gonna go back down here, put a vector mask on it, grab my brush. Okay, and before I do that, I have to select Command Thumbnail. Then I'm going to paint up here and here, and I'm going to, I feel like that looks better now. Okay, and then Command D. Okay, so far so good. I just realized that I didn't even put an inner or an outer glow on my Saturn. So before I do any shading, I'm going to actually have you shade. Well, I guess we can probably do it now. So we want the rings of Saturn to also be shaded. So do you see that the planet here is shaded? So the rings, it wouldn't make sense for the rings to be all lit up over here when the planet is actually dark over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on my thumbnail for my picture, and I'm going to do Command Thumbnail, and I'm going to grab my brush. I'm going to bring my opacity way down, like maybe 50%. And then what am I going to do? I might have to maybe do this on a new layer. So make a new layer. We're going to paint up here. Okay. And then I'm going to just take my brush and I'm just going to paint my rings. Okay. So I'm going to do it one more time. And if you want the darker part of your rings, like maybe over here to be a little bit darker, you can make them a little bit darker. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Command D. Okay, oh gosh, what is happening here? I'm not too happy about that. So, oh, you know what? Maybe I should have, okay, I think what I'll do, I'll grab my eraser and I'm just going to erase that part right there. Okay, so you want your rings to be darker on the side that it's darker. So I might have to come back down here, do Command Thumbnail again, and then paint a little bit more darker. Feel like they still need to be a little bit darker. Command D, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, so basically I want my rings on my left-hand side of my planet to be light like my planet, and then Saturn rings to be darker over here because it's darker here. And I might just make it a little bit, bring my opacity down some more, and maybe just, since I'm working up here, maybe just sort of darken that up a little bit so that it's sort of consistent. If that's too dark for you, you know what? Maybe I can bring my opacity down. So if it's too, oh gosh. That's the nice thing about painting on a new layer. You can sort of adjust it like that. Okay, so I'm going to keep it like that. And then I'm going to, let's see what happens. If I do Command, let's see, if Command E, what does Command E look like? I don't know if I can merge it down or not. Let's see, Command E. Let me see. Well, let's see if I can merge these. I'm gonna select both of them. Let's see if I can merge these layers. Okay, so, oh, you know what? I got rid of my mask though. So, oh, yeah, okay, that's okay. So, okay, so now that's okay. Okay, so now I'm going to come to here and I'm going to put an inner and outer glow on my Saturn because I forgot to do that. So I'm going to actually right click, go to blending options. And I'm going to go to my outer glow and click on my outer glow. And at any time you guys feel like you need to make your numbers different, you can definitely make your numbers different. Okay, I'm going to maybe do something like that. Okay, my inner glow. And okay, let's see, how does that look? Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to have your rings and your Saturn linked together, because when we move them, you want to move them both together at the same time. So I'm going to select both of them. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go create or link layers. So now if I go to my move tool and I move it, it moves together. Okay, so I can do Command T and then I can move it and it goes like that. Okay, so basically, let's see, what do we have? So we have, I'm just going to do my check mark. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to all of them and I'm going to move them all. Okay, so I'm going to stop this video tutorial now because I am going to spend some time adjusting my planets and figuring out how I want to make them composed. Remember, the last part on your instruction sheet talks to you about that when you make your planets, remember they decrease in size as they go back into space. So the planets that are farther away from you or the viewer are smaller. The planets that are closer to you are bigger. Okay, so I'm going to figure out how I want to compose them right now, and then I'm going to make a second part to this video tutorial. So I'll have part 2 to finish up. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to stop the video and then I'm going to start again after I have them figured out how I want to place them. Okay, so I'm going to end up now. So, and I will be right back. Thank you.